Hey there, welcome back. It's Shireen with another Adobe for Fashion tutorial. Working again, fashion specific, textile specific tasks. Right now we're working on our surface design series. And there was a video before this one which showed us how to take artwork from Photoshop and reduce it down to just be only two colors, a very flat artwork, so that we'll be able to color, so that we'll be able to create repeats and color these beautiful repeats with our own color palettes. Right now we're going to be working on what is called a multicolor repeat, so anything, a multicolor reduction. So we're reducing down to, three colors or more. I would say to focus on trying to keep these to about, I would say 10 colors or less for this kind of flat artwork. So, 3 to 10 colors would be the range, 3 to 8 colors, something like that. And so today, as you see, we're working from a photograph, a very special memory from vacations past. I'm going to isolate one area of this photograph. I'm going to reduce it down in color. It's going to be ready to go. And in our next video, we'll learn how to bring all these isolated motifs into repeat and color them up. So let's get started. I want to focus on just this beautiful palm tree and just work with just that element as a repeat. So what I'm going to do is, with the marquee tool, select and isolate just that area. I think that's pretty good. If I isolate just that area, I can now go to image and I'll find crop. Okay, so that way it just crops out everything else. I don't need everything else. All right, and right now I have an image that, if we zoom in, right, so we can see that it's got full range of color, RGB, right? But we need to flatten this. So a couple different options. If you choose, you could, I'll show you a couple different ways, but one of the first ways that you could flatten this would be to go to your adjustment layers and choose posterize. And if you posterize, you can see very quickly and easily it flattened it. It gave a really great effect. And you can kind of even go less, right? So it's kind of interesting. So even if we keep it at 4, we've already very quickly and easily created this sort of very graphic flat rendition. However, no matter what we're about to do, we're still going to need to flatten this artwork again to a limited number of colors, just only one background layer, no additional layers. And when we're ready to move that in, we want to be very mindful as we move this in to be repeat, that we also want to not include any more sort of that fuzziness, that anti-alias, that we need to keep it flat. So one of the ways we can control that is to work in index mode. So let's say if I choose to kind of posterize first, I would still want to go into image mode index. All right, flatten layers, yes. All right, we really want to start to manage. So if you do this, it's already kind of flattened, so it's going to show you what the exact numbers are associated with this right now. And exactly right now there's 25 colors. So in this case, posterize is not our best option because it's still leaving us with way too many colors. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. I'm going to go back in history before I posterized, and I'm just this time going to go straight into index mode, and I'm going to select how I want to reduce this. So if you're able to posterize, and when you choose image mode exact number, if you get far less than 25, if you get 10 or so, you're in great shape, proceed. But if not, you're still going to want to go image mode index. And what you want to do this time, it was already set from the last time I did this. It will probably be somewhere around here. You're going to want to go locally select, say 4 colors. It's not as fun. Yeah, I like 5 colors. So 5 colors. This is it. Not anything forced. We don't want to additionally force black and white. We don't want to force transparency. No such thing as transparent thread or ink. So we just want to do locally select 5 colors, and you see it does flatten it really nicely. Very cool graphic effect. I can go ahead and just hit OK. Now that I'm in index mode, I've listed the number of colors. It's a very specific number of colors. No matter how I manipulate or transform this image right now, I'm actually going to be in great shape because there's no way that it's going to bring in any of that fuzziness or any of that anti-alias or any of that blur. So while I'm in index mode, before I move this into my isolated repeat, I'm going to need to check the image size. So I'm going to go to image, image size. And we can see here that just this one quadrant, this is about to be, in the next video, we're showing you how to recreate our isolated repeat. It's going to be copied and reflected vertically and horizontally. So this is just 1/4 of my repeat. It can't be 24 by 13 inches. That's just simply too much. So the resolution right now is very low. It was uploaded from my camera. I'm going to uncheck resample. Uncheck resample. I don't want to affect the number of pixels. I like the high number of pixels, but what I do want to do is make them more dense so that for every inch, instead of only 72 dpi, I have 200 dpi, 200 dots per inch. While 200 now is managed at this point, right, I can go in and see everything really flat. The other thing I would need to kind of think about though is image, image size. This time I am going to resample though. And since I'm in index mode, I'm not going to get that blur. I'm going to go ahead though and reduce it down to, I would say 1.5 to 2 inches maximum. So let me do 1.5. Okay, 1.5 inches wide. And even though I reduced it, so you see it's not quite the same level of beautiful quality, but at least I got it to be a lot smaller so that when I'm going to go double it and then also reflect it vertically, at least I have still this flat artwork. Okay, I could, if I chose, temporarily, if I wanted to access that filter to help me kind of get rid of a little bit of that pixelation, I could go to RGB again. I could go under my filters and choose filter, noise, dust and scratches. And I can get something like that, which at least looks a little bit flatter. And I can go back to image mode, index, back to exactly 5, great. And at least this way now, I've got a very small little quadrant of my repeat ready to transform so that I can start creating some prints. All right, so this is kind of enough for today. We've learned about index mode and working in RGB. We've considered posterizing as another way to kind of flatten our artwork. The difference between index mode is that index mode does not allow for layers and it does not allow for blur. It basically takes the same amount of pixels and it kind of just crunches them up so that there's that same limited number of colors. I chose 5 colors and it will remain 5 colors. When I'm in that index mode, I can do these really drastic image size adjustments like you just saw. I went from I think it was 8 inches wide to only 1.5 inches wide. So yes, there's going to be detail loss, but I could temporarily go back into RGB to access my filters. Once I'm back from RGB mode and I've done my dust and scratches, I can go back into index mode. Want to really try to work as much as I can in index to make sure that it's flat, to make sure that I keep those limited number of colors because I'm really going to need that when it comes to creating my swatches. All right, so have a go. Work on your 2 color reductions, 3 color reductions, really flatten that artwork. Join me on my next video where I take this 1/4, turn it into an isolated repeat and start making beautiful swatches in my own colors. All right, in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.